father stops his daughter from committing suicide. His warning to parents about the TV show that inspired it all.
And the biggest mistake parents make when safeguarding their home. And the simple fix that could save your child's life.
Rain showers move through the area, cool temperatures, but that will be changing through parts of the weekend when the rain leaves and how Mother's Day will shape up.
Fox 45 News at 10 starts with wicked weather.
Off the top at 10, a soggy day and more on the way.
Could Mother's Day weekend be a washout? Chief Meteorologist Venus Reed joins us right now. Venus, what's in store for the moms?
Well, we definitely had some heavy rain through parts of the day today. It looks like we're still seeing some trailing showers across the area, but the clouds are breaking a little bit. But don't let that fool you, because we still have more rain on the way that's going to pick up through the day tomorrow. A big complex storm sitting west of St. Louis down towards Tulsa, Oklahoma. This low pressure will continue to track, bringing all this moisture with it into the mid-Atlantic. So tomorrow the clouds will gather, the rain will build in, but it looks like we have more heavy rain potentially causing some flooding conditions across the area as we get into parts of the weekend. I'm going to time it out for you, show you how it's going to get in here, how much rain we could get, and a peek at your Mother's Day weekend forecast coming up in about 10 minutes. Back to you guys.
All right, Venus, thank you. First on Fox tonight, a Baltimore County father believes a popular Netflix show may have triggered his daughter into trying to commit suicide.
You probably heard about it. That show's called 13 Reasons Why. And the father believes the show glamorizes risky behaviors and could lead to copycat deaths.
Keith Daniels here now with a father's warning to parents. Keith?
Well, Jennifer and Kai, some school systems in Maryland, including Howard and Carroll counties, have already sent out warnings to parents about the show. It's been on since March, and now a father is ringing the alarm.
I mean, what else can I say? It hurts.
Brian Hawkins is a father with a painful story.
I'm supposed to be able to protect my family. So to have something happen to one of them and I can't do it, I can't do anything about it, that hurts.
It began with an alarming discovery at the family's home earlier this week after hearing water pouring from the bathroom.
So I knocked on the door and I was curious, like, who's running water? So I knocked again, no answer, so I opened up and she's in the tub with her clothes on, just laying there crying. I open the door and I see my child trying to hurt herself.
Hawkins saw his 14-year-old daughter in the bathtub with her wrists cut. He pulled her from the water, yelled for his wife. Their daughter survived. There was relief. Now there's a warning.
I tell any parent right now, watch what your child watches.
Before his daughter's attempted suicide, Hawkins learned his daughter had been watching the Netflix series 13 Reasons Why, the TV show based on a best-selling young adult novel.
Everyone is just so nice until they drive you to kill yourself.
The hit show is about a teenage girl who leaves 13 tapes with reasons why she committed suicide. A girl who cut her wrist while sitting in a bathtub filled with water. A scene in the show, like at Hawkins' home. He believes the show romanticizes suicide, creates a bad influence. Now, warning from a parent to producers.
Take some responsibility, because I guarantee if one of these producers or someone that worked at Netflix and this was their child, they'd be ready to quit and say, let's get rid of this show.
Well, we tried reaching out to Netflix, but no one has returned our calls. Keith Daniels, Fox 45 News.
Keith, thank you. What a powerful story from that father. Information from the Centers for Disease Control show the magnitude of suicide among teenagers. Suicide is the third leading cause of death among people ages 10 to 14, and the second leading cause of death for those 15 to 34. 17% of students in grades 9 through 12 seriously considered suicide during the past 12 months. Nearly 3% actually tried.
Another warning tonight for parents regarding a troubling and disturbing new cyberbullying trend hitting schools across the country. It's called Letter X, and it's played through Snapchat. It starts with one person sending the letter X to another, who then replies with the victim's name. And that's when the victim is mercilessly insulted online, where nothing is off limits.
I feel like it's really bad because I've been bullied in second grade. And I was new, like the second year I was new. I didn't know that people, but it's really awful because people actually do like suicide and it's really bad. And it mentioned like their family, which is also really sad.
Well, officials say keep an eye on and monitor your child's social media. That student that we just heard from, well, she says someone sent her the X last week, but instead of insulting a classmate, she sent them kind words and compliments. We have breaking news out of Hampton, Virginia right now. Police issuing an Amber Alert for a missing infant and her mother. Here is a picture of Kier Johnson and 10-month-old Chloe. Officials say an unknown man took the child and they believe he may have abducted the mother as well. Kier was last seen wearing blue jeans, a t-shirt and glasses. Police say they may be traveling in a 2013 black Kia Optima with Virginia tags. Both mom and daughter are believed to be in extreme danger. Now to breaking news out of Annapolis tonight.
The FBI raids a business there with connections to the Republican Party. Jeff Abel joins us live right now. Jeff, what have we learned?
You know, this town is going to bed with a lot of unanswered questions tonight, and they were all prompted by a raid that took place up on the 3rd floor of this office building about 8:30 this morning. Federal agents seized box after box of files and computer equipment and answered no questions. In downtown Annapolis this morning, sleepy Main Street had come alive with the sounds of a raid.
I mean, I didn't know what to think.
Sarah Noonan's restaurant sits just across the street from the building where an army of FBI agents moved in this morning.
They were just staring out very blankly, like with a very paranoid look on their face. Some people looked hesitant to even leave the building.
The top floor is home to the Strategic Campaign Group, a consulting firm that raises money for Republican candidates and causes. The FBI isn't discussing the nature of the raid, but the firm's owner told reporters this morning it stems from allegations made by Ken Cuccinelli, who the firm represented in his losing campaign for Virginia governor. The candidate had accused the company of raising far more money than it actually spent on his campaign.
We now have what we call scam packs or scam consultants who might raise a lot of money, but they don't actually spend it on the candidates they claim to be spending it on.
Jennifer Baven-Dangle is director of Maryland's Common Cause and has watched as consulting firms take on larger roles in campaigns.
It's not just Bob, the delegate candidate, walking around knocking on doors. You know, now you've got Bob, you've got the PAC that's supporting Bob, you've got the consultant that the PAC is paying to do the work for them.
For now, the FBI is shedding little light on its mission. But on Main Street, there's plenty of speculation about what's happened and why. Well, already here in Annapolis, several top-level Republicans who have used the services of this office say they will no longer be doing so until this investigation is complete. We are live in Annapolis tonight. Jeff Abel, Fox 45 News.
Jeff, thank you. More turmoil tonight after the firing of FBI Director James Comey. Now President Donald Trump tells his side of the story. The president said firing FBI Director Comey was his idea.
I was going to fire Comey. My decision. It was not.
You had made the decision before they came in the room.
I was going to fire Comey. There's no good time to do it, by the way.
Because in your letter you said I accepted their recommendation,
well,
so you had already made the decision.
I was going to fire regardless of recommendation.
So there was
Well, this statement appears to conflict with the original White House timeline, suggesting Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein sparked Comey's firing, not the president. The president also criticized Comey and the state of the FBI, but the acting FBI director doesn't agree with the president's assessment.
I can tell you also that Director Comey enjoyed broad support within the FBI and still does to this day.
Well, earlier today, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein met with senators on Capitol Hill. The lawmaker said the firing of Comey did not come up in their conversations. They did talk, however, about how to investigate Russian activity during the 2016 election without interfering with the FBI probe. The Russian influence in the 2016 election, new questions about the investigation. That is new at 10:30 tonight.
Breaking news in that deadly Amtrak derailment in Philadelphia in 2015. And this is a big change from 2 days ago. A judge in Philadelphia has ordered prosecutors to criminally charge Brandon Bastian in connection with that crash. On Tuesday, the district attorney declined to press charges. 8 people died in that wreck. The train was going twice the posted speed limit. And take a look at these pictures right now. Anne Arundel County Police believe these 2 suspects hung a noose outside of Crofton Middle School early this morning. That noose was discovered before 11 a.m. hanging over the courtyard. Police say surveillance video captured the suspects placing it on a light fixture from the roof. The principal has written a letter to parents saying they are investigating the incident with police. An update right now on breaking news from Fox 45 News at 10 o'clock last night. A Baltimore City police officer is recovering after falling in West Baltimore. That officer was chasing a drug suspect near Monroe Street and Edmondson Avenue when the officer fell, struck his head, and was knocked unconscious. Police say he is in serious but stable condition. For the next 12 days, live racing is back at Pimlico.
Opening day of the spring meet began this afternoon. They're already gearing up for the Preakness, but some fans are worried that the big race may move to Laurel. A recent study concluded it would take $300 million to fix up Pimlico.
Both of them are aging facilities, and now we're here, and racing's kind of got a resurgence, but we don't have the same amenities that like a Churchill Downs has, and definitely need help to get that done.
Pimlico officials say the Turfside Terrace is sold out for next Friday's Black-Eyed Susan race, and they're expecting up to 130,000 fans for Preakness Day. Stay with Fox 45 for complete Preakness coverage on air and online leading up to the big race.
We're just getting off the ground at 10 o'clock tonight. The feds round up more than 1,300 men and women, what they're accused of doing, what could happen next, and why it could have a huge ripple effect on others.
I really wish I can go back and change that whole day. And unfortunately, I can't.
First on Fox, a popular restaurant owner speaks out the day a jury decides whether to convict him of killing one of his workers.
I'm just happy to see her being so healthy and strong because we were really lucky.
After the break, this mother shares a horror story that could happen to any parent. The one thing you need to know about keeping your children safe at home.
It is a damp night out there with occasional showers. Temperature's going to drop down to 50 degrees, but it looks like more rain is ahead. I'm tracking the rain, the time it arrives, how much we'll see, and how it could affect your Mother's Day weekend coming up.
A Baltimore family is incredibly lucky tonight.
A toddler unharmed after going out of a second-floor window while the family was sleeping. Here's why.
Trying to get the kitty cat.
I'm trying to get the kitty cat.
He was trying to get the kitty cat. 3-year-old Savante tells his mother that he followed the cat onto the second-floor porch and then fell. He wasn't hurt and says he started going to the neighborhood store in hopes of finding his mom. All of this happened before sunrise. A worker from St. Agnes Hospital spotted the little boy and called police.
I really want to thank the lady who found him and just thank God, that he made it home safe.
And tonight, Savante, as you can see, is back home with his mom. Well, there are a few simple steps that you can take to protect your family.
Joy Lambert tells us about the biggest mistakes parents make and the dangerous windows you need to avoid.
3, 2, 1, blast off! How's that?
Great.
Beckett's busy working on her technique.
I can pump my legs as high as I can go!
A simple day at the park is special for her and her parents.
I'm just happy to see her being so healthy and strong because we were really lucky.
The day after Beckett's 4th birthday.
I went and answered the door, and it was our neighbor who had Beckett cradled in her arms. Beckett had a mouthful of dirt and clearly had scratched herself up, and I didn't know what had happened.
Neighbors watched in horror as Beckett fell from her second-story bedroom window.
I don't even remember if she was crying.
She didn't cry. She was really quiet.
Beckett suffered a concussion and a fractured wrist.
We really lucked out. I mean, it's really miraculous to me that she wasn't more seriously hurt.
This year, 3,300 kids under the age of 6 will fall out of a window in America, according to safety advocate Safe Kids Worldwide.
Take the steps before you need to, because the worst case scenario is the last thing you want to have to deal with.
When it comes to window safety, experts say a window should never be open more than 4 inches. That's the same size as a can of soup.
A single hung window or a sliding window, you can install the window stops.
Jan Barashon is a safety expert. She shows us how you can easily bypass the window stop in an emergency. Same with a window guard.
So with this one, we're going to push 2 buttons on one side, 2 buttons on the other side, and it comes out that way.
Casement windows, which you can crank wide open, are a little trickier. If you're installing new windows, ask the manufacturer to build the opening control right in. But if it's an older window, a window guard is your only option. Jan says teach children about window safety by creating a 2-foot safety zone around windows, keeping furniture or anything a child can climb on away. Share this information with anyone who could watch your child and check homes where your kids will play. And remember, your kids are curious.
Not letting children watch you install product or how you remove the product.
The Currys say it could save your child's life.
Really fun to see her be so capable and free and still fearless.
Turns out, Beckett is well aware of her fall. She wanted to do a special news report for other kids.
Never play in the screens, otherwise you might fall out. Because it can be dangerous. Now this is reporting over on the news today.
Joy Lambert, Fox 45 News.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
What a cute girl. So happy that she's okay.
Yeah.
Well, a pack of 2 window stops will cost you about $8 at your local hardware store.
Window guards are pricier, anywhere from $30 to $90, depending on the size.
One of the nation's top insurers is leaving Obamacare. Aetna announced today that it's withdrawing from national health care exchanges. The company says it's lost $700 million from 2014 through 2016, another $200 million this year alone. For the GOP, that news is confirmation that Obamacare is failing. Democrats, however, blame congressional inaction for the plan's shortcomings.
There's other fixes we can work on that'll help reduce deductibles and improve quality, but that's only going to happen if we genuinely work across the aisle.
Health and Human Services Secretary Tom Price released a statement about the announcement. Price says, quote, Aetna's decision to complete withdrawal from the Obamacare exchanges adds to the mountain of evidence that Obamacare has failed the American people, end quote.
The Affordable Care Act may see new life in Tennessee. Blue Cross Blue Shield says it will return to Knoxville if the state agrees to flexibility on several rules. In February, Humana said it was getting out of the health exchange in that area, leaving no insurers in that market. But Blue Cross says its financial performance has improved during the past year. A new poll from Quinnipiac University shows 21% of the people polled approve of the Republican plan to replace Obamacare. 56% disapprove. 22% either didn't answer or didn't know. In March, even fewer people, 17%, approved of the plan.
All right, time for check of our weather. We know what it's been doing outside tonight. The question is, what's going to happen Sunday?
That's right. The timing is key. Here's Chief Meteorologist Vitas Reed. Vitas.
Well, we do have some cloudy skies and rain that's been moving through the area. The ground is saturated. That means that any more rain could cause possibly some flooding across the area. And it looks like there's some pretty good rain on the way. So it looks like what we're seeing is a cool, damp evening out there. 49 degrees in Bel Air, looking at 48 in Westminster as we head down in the neighborhood in Columbia. 51 degrees, 50 in Laurel, 55 in Annapolis, across the bay in Chestertown, 50 degrees, up in Elkton, about 48. So it's going to start out on a cool note for tomorrow morning. That means you need your coats. You also need an umbrella because we'll probably see some showers building back in. But an interesting thing here on the radar, you can see how the showers are breaking up and the clouds may break up a little bit. There could be a little sun that tries to break out early in the morning, but for the most part, there will be more clouds building in. Tracking this low pressure that's down off to the southwest is going to be bringing us plenty of rainfall. Now, the timing of this is very important because some of this is going to linger around for the weekend, especially into Saturday, but it'll start picking up through the day tomorrow. So your planner looks like this. I think it'll be mostly cloudy, maybe a sprinkle in the morning, into the afternoon, more sprinkles building in, and then it really starts kicking off later in the day on Friday. So you definitely need those umbrellas, and it's going to really come down, especially for parts of Saturday. I'm going to have a look at when it really gets out of here. A few changes in the forecast that may affect Mother's Day coming up in about 10 minutes.
All right, Vitas, thank you. We have more stories you will see only on one station tonight.
And I never thought I'd ever be put in that situation.
First on Fox, charged with murder and speaking for the first time about the crime and punishment. A popular restaurant owner talks about the day that will change his life forever.
New developments out of Washington today where more lawmakers are calling for an investigation into President Trump's potential Russian ties. What members of both parties are saying tonight.
Next, they're considered one of the most dangerous street gangs in America. You'll be stunned to hear what came out in court today.
Our goal at the end of the day is to arrest, prosecute, imprison, and deport and remove transnational gang members, as well as to suppress violence and prosecute criminal enterprises.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement says it's arrested nearly 1,400 people in a nationwide gang operation that ended this past weekend. The arrest targeted gang members associated with murder, sex trafficking, weapons and drug smuggling, and racketeering. A majority of those arrested were U.S. citizens, but more than 400 were people from South and Central America, Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Caribbean. Graphic testimony in court today detailing the brutal killing of 15-year-old Damaris Alexandra Reyes Rivas of Gaithersburg. Now, one of the 5 charged with this gang-related murder is a 17-year-old girl who will be tried as an adult. According to court testimony, the defendants are accused of bringing Alex to an area lake in Virginia. Investigators say she was forced to remove her shirt and shoes and was badly beaten and stabbed multiple times with knives and sticks. According to court testimony, 17-year-old Iraheta stabbed Alex Reyes Rivas 13 times, saying, quote, "I'll see you in hell." Investigators say Alex was targeted because the defendants blamed her for the death of 21-year-old Christian Sosa Rivas, whose body was found along the Potomac River in Prince William County, January 12th.
And Arundel County officials are close to finalizing 2 agreements to cooperate with the federal government in identifying illegal immigrants arrested for other crimes. County Executive Steve Shue's administration has been in talks with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement for the past several months. On Wednesday, the County Council got a preview of the programs, which are the same ones now in effect in Frederick and Harford counties. Well, it's not every day that somebody turns 111. People in Austin, Texas are celebrating the birthday of our nation's oldest living veteran.
Richard Overton served in the South Pacific from 1940 until 1945. He left the Army and returned to his native Texas, where he worked as a furniture store salesman before working for the state of Texas many years later. He visited President Obama in the White House in 2013 and was asked today about coming back to Washington.
No, I don't excited about going nowhere. But it just makes me, I just go because I want to go. It don't excite me. I've been all over the world, it don't excite me.
In honor of Overton's birthday, the city of Austin named a street after him. Overton still lives at home and credits whiskey and cigars for living so long.
There's much more ahead in our 90-minute broadcast tonight. What one senator is calling our biggest threat yet, how we could come under attack, and why we all need to be on guard.
Prices at the pump, how much we're paying for gas, whether it will go down, and how it compares to this time last year.
I'm sorry for Danny's family for their loss because he's not here anymore.
Next, first on Fox, this restaurant owner talks about the most difficult day in his life as jurors decide whether to keep him locked up for murder.
And it's a big weekend. It's Mother's Day weekend, and there's a lot of folks planning things outdoors. Now, we do have some heavy rain that's going to be here. It's timing it out, and that's going to be the most important thing. Cool overnight showers moving in. You're going to need those umbrellas for part of the weekend. Which parts you need it is next after the break.
Not guilty. First on Fox, the owner of Fat Daddy's Crabs is a free man and speaking out.
He was just cleared of murder charges today after the shooting death of his employee in August of 2016. Shelley Orman is live in Towson with the interview you'll only see on Fox. Shelley?
Well, Kai, after a 3-day trial here in Towson, Von Clark is now acquitted of all charges. A judge ruling he acted in self-defense, and tonight he is speaking exclusively with us about what happened last August.
Everybody made me feel like I was dehumanized for a minute right after this, and no one knew what happened.
Von Clark's life is far from back to normal, but the Crab Shack owner is no longer a murder suspect.
This was the worst time of my entire life.
Clark was just cleared of second-degree murder charges, a judge ruling he acted in self-defense when he shot and killed his employee last August.
I really wish I could go back and change that whole day And unfortunately, I can't.
This is the first time he's spoken publicly about what happened at his business, Fat Daddy's Crabs in Randallstown, on August 5th, 2016.
I knew my life was threatened, and even at that point, I still begged, brother, please, brother, please. Because, again, nobody wants to be put in that situation.
He says his employee, 32-year-old Daniel Lyles, was drunk and threatening to kill him.
This was something that I could not control.
Clark shot Lyles once in the torso after he says he came towards him, reaching into his waistband where police later found a folding knife.
And I never thought I'd ever be put in that situation.
He's been legally cleared, but he's still haunted by memories. He can't sleep at night and has lost 20 pounds. He still wants to reach out to Lyle's family, something he has not been able to do with the criminal trial and an ongoing civil trial.
I'm sorry for Danny's family, for their loss, because he's not here anymore. I wanted to reach out so bad. I wanted to reach out so bad and just say, you know, look, I'm sorry. You know, I really wish I could take, I wish I could take this back.
And you can see our full unedited interview with Clark. Just go to foxbaltimore.com/raw news. Live in Towson tonight, Shelley Orman, Fox 45 News.
Shelley, thank you. Parkville residents want answers after a man is gunned down while his girlfriend watches in horror. That shooting happened outside an apartment complex. Police say the couple was walking into one of the buildings when a man approached and shot the boyfriend. Officials say the evidence suggests this was a targeted attack.
A school bus crash near St. Louis, Missouri injures 13 children and the driver. Their bus swerved off the road to avoid an erratic driver who was changing lanes. A child was ejected out of the emergency door and suffered sprains and cuts. Authorities say none of the injuries is life-threatening. Police credit the bus driver for preventing a more serious crash. No word if the other driver will face charges.
As the firing of James Comey continues to unfold, the new director, acting director of the FBI, felt any internal pressure by the president or the White House? And what happens next in the Russia investigation? Fox 45's Scott Thuman has the latest from Washington.
In the wake of FBI Director James Comey's firing, the waves of questions and accusations continue to swell. First, with President Trump telling NBC News Comey assured him he's in the clear.
If it's possible, would you let me know, am I under investigation? He said, you are not under investigation.
And the Senate Intelligence Committee encouraging the new acting FBI director to stay the course.
Do you commit to informing this committee of any effort to interfere with the FBI's ongoing investigation into links between Russia and the Trump campaign?
I absolutely do. Simply put, sir, you cannot stop the men and women of the FBI from doing the right thing.
Meanwhile, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein was also on the Hill amid some media reports he'd been pressured to recommend Comey's firing and threatened to resign himself over the incident. He denied that to our camera today.
No, I'm not quit.
Did you threaten to quit?
No. All are under the microscope now, says John Hudak of the Brookings Institution.
A lot of people in this administration have to be coming to the realization that if they do anything to hinder this investigation, they will go to jail.
And for those who thought it would slow the process, he says, Comey's firing may backfire.
It's clear from reporting that the FBI is unhappy with the removal of the director, and that will only make those rank-and-file investigators work even harder to get at the truth, whatever the truth is.
And now there are more calls tonight for congressional testimony from former Director Comey, as well as Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein. On Capitol Hill, I'm Scott Thuman.
The biggest threat to the United States right now may be something you can't see. In a rare open hearing, top U.S. intelligence officials testified about terrorism, North Korea, and Afghanistan. While conventional warfare is more visible, Senator Mark Warner believes the greatest vulnerability is still cyber warfare.
I've heard one expert indicate that if you add up all of the costs of what Russia has spent trying to disrupt our elections, the French elections, what they'll spend to disrupt the German elections, that is less than 5% of the cost of an aircraft carrier.
A large portion of the hearing was dedicated to the firing of FBI Director Jim Comey. Here's our question of the day. What do you think is the biggest threat to the United States? You can join the discussion right now. Go to our website, foxbaltimore.com/question. Dozens of cyclists are riding more than 140 miles to honor fallen officers. And the local police unity tour is making a pit stop at the Harford County Sheriff's Office after 2 of its deputies were killed 15 months ago. A fugitive shot and killed both Deputy First Class Mark Logsdon and Senior Deputy Patrick Daly in February of 2016. And all those cyclists are riding to remember all 7 officers killed in the history of the Harford County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Jeff Gaylor says the deaths of Mark and Pat are still fresh in their minds.
Wonderful people with great family lives and big families around them, and of course heartbroken families.
Well, all police unity tour rides will converge in Washington tomorrow afternoon at the Law Enforcement Memorial.
Financial advice from the mouths of babes. Today, Hamilton Elementary Middle School students lectured the state comptroller about saving and investing strategies. The presentation was the final project of a 3-year financial literacy program for students. The program allows them to purchase stocks and track their earnings. Peter Francho commended students for their participation in the class.
Whether you work for 6 years to become a doctor or a brain surgeon like Dr. Carson, this class is the most important class as far as your personal happiness and your ability to realize your own talents.
Students continue to track their portfolios after the program and earn stock transfers when they graduate from high school. Well, we want to hear from you. What are you seeing in your kids' schools? What's working? What's not? Call our hotline or send us an email. Go to foxbaltimore.com to follow our progress.
Well, you should probably keep your umbrellas and your windbreakers handy.
I think that's a good idea. Chief Meteorologist Vitas Reed is tracking the rain and joins us now with the very latest. Vitas.
Yeah, it was pretty soggy out there today. We had plenty of rainfall earlier, and it looks like the ground is saturated, and we have more rain on the way. Now, there's a little bit of a lull in the showers right now, but it's still damp and cool out there. So taking a look from our HD Townsend camera, you can see the cars moving out there, and there are still some puddles of water still lingering. Looking at 51 degrees, the winds are calm, and those humidity levels are up there at 69%, so there's plenty of moisture in the atmosphere. Looking at 51 degrees in Westminster, 52 in Frederick. Temperatures right around 53 in Cockeysville, 54 in Chestertown, 54 in Annapolis. Now, as I animate this, you can see how those temperatures will cool through the overnight into the upper 40s and then to the low 50s across the central portion of the state. Now, tomorrow, we can get those temperatures in the mid 60s to lower 60s for highs, some areas in the upper 50s. So it looks like there may be a little bit of a warm-up spot. And then as we get into Friday night, it cools back down. So you need those jackets once again. And then the rain really starts picking up because we'll have that storm system pushing in from the west as we get in through the day on Saturday. But it's going to get much nicer getting towards the end of the weekend. But we have to get through this system. We have this one stationary front that's kind of nearby here, creating showers over West Virginia, over Kentucky, and parts of Virginia. So we still have some remaining showers north of us. But this big storm complex is all dragging all that moisture our direction. And it's going to take a good day and a half to get here and push through. Once it moves through, it's going to kind of speed up the coast. Now, the timing is everything because we have a big day on Sunday. It is Mother's Day, and we want it to be nice. So here's how it plays out. Future scan timing out the precipitation here. You can see the rain is just kind of scattered in nature. The sun may try to poke through in the morning briefly. The further north and east you go, up near Easton and areas up towards Wilmington, we're going to see maybe a few breaks in the clouds, but mostly cloudy to cloudy skies through the afternoon. A few spotty showers trying to work their way in. Starts to really pick up late afternoon after 4 or 5 o'clock. We start seeing the showers in western Maryland. This is 11 p.m. Has some of the leading edge of that low pushing in. Then it's wrapping over the area. Take a look at Saturday morning, 7:30 a.m. The eastern shore, central Maryland, all getting rain. Then it starts pushing to the north by Saturday late day. 4:30, we're starting to see the rain push north. Now, remember there's a wraparound effect on the back of a low. So could there be a chance for a little pop-up shower early in the morning on Sunday? Well, that's the only chance. Only about a 10 to 20% chance. A very low potential, but we're looking at 7:30 a.m. clearing. The further north and east you go, there could be a remaining shower, but then we clear out in the afternoon. I think it's going to be plenty of sunshine through the later portion of the day, but how much rain could we see from this? Well, it looks like it's going to be a really wet one. Take a look at the future scan rain totals, anywhere from about 1.25 inch to 1.25 inches across the state over in Chestertown, Annapolis, around Westminster. Everybody's going to get a good drink of water. water going through Saturday. So here's what it looks like for tomorrow. 57 degrees, cloudy and cool, showers moving late day. I think it's going to be a better chance for the rain the later we go after 4 or 5 o'clock. And it looks like you're going to definitely need those umbrellas for Saturday. 58 degrees. Sunday, Mother's Day. I'm giving it a 71 degrees, maybe a 20% chance for a sprinkle early morning, but I don't even have it in there. I'm just going to mention it to you for the early risers. As we go through Sunday, it gets even better for Monday, sunny, 72. Tuesday, sunny, 77. And take a look at Wednesday and Thursday, 82 on Wednesday with sunshine. Thursday, 85 with plenty of sun. Back to you.
Edith, thank you. Building a wall with words. Why illegal immigration has slowed down at the border before any bricks have been laid.
And an illegal immigrant deported, now back in the country and accused of a crime. The serious injuries police say he caused a child, and the shocking number of times he was kicked out of the country already.
A 6-year-old boy is in a Southern California hospital tonight after being seriously injured in a drunken driving crash last week. The suspect, an illegal immigrant who's been deported more than a dozen times. Adam Housley fills us in from Los Angeles.
He's been deported 15 times already, and now the justice system is once again dealing with 38-year-old Constantino Banda Acosta, this time for drunk driving and hit and run.
I just want to bring my son home. I just miss playing with him and his sweet spirit, and I just hope the justice system does what it's supposed to do and things are handled properly.
A judge ordered Acosta's face blurred on video taken at his arraignment, where he pled not guilty to felony driving under the influence and hit and run after he allegedly ran a stop sign and plowed into the Lake family car. Banda Acosta was found about a mile away by Border Patrol agents hiding inside his damaged truck, and 6-year-old Lennox Lake is lying in a San Diego hospital. This morning on Fox and Friends, Lennox's father says he never really thought about immigration policy until now.
I don't feel like this guy represents all illegals, but I feel like the ones that have the criminal record and have done bad things and have previously been deported, they shouldn't be finding ways back into the country.
Lake says his family's focus is on Lennox's recovery from multiple skull fractures, but he's also urging the president and Congress to do something more about criminal illegal immigrants.
We have a systemic problem that we all need to deal with. I don't think it's Republican or Democrat. I think as Americans, we just need to make sure that our country's safe for our kids and for the future generations, that we're not letting bad people stay here or keep coming back.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement says it will deport Banda Acosta again after he serves any prison time. He's being held on $230,000 bail and could face nearly 8 years behind bars. As for 6-year-old Lennox, he's already had 2 surgeries at Children's Hospital, but doctors do expect him to make a full recovery. In Los Angeles, Adam Housley, Fox News.
Part of the border wall may be made of words instead of concrete and steel. Tough language may be the reason illegal immigration nearly stopped at one formerly popular border crossing with Mexico. This is the Rio Grande Valley, where Texas meets the Gulf of Mexico. Since voters elected Donald Trump, arrests for border crossings fell every month from 15,000 in November to just over 1,000.
Words matter. The rhetoric has mattered. The discourse now that's emanating from the Attorney General, from this administration, is they'll be sent back and quickly deported.
The media has a big say in what happens. You know, they put that out there, and people come or don't come depending on what they say.
Agents say the cost of getting across the border has increased from $5,000 to $10,000.
Important information for drivers. Construction crews are working on 295. The State Highway Administration is resurfacing 2 miles of southbound 295 between Winterston Road and Hanover Road in Anne Arundel County. Crews will work Sunday through Thursdays from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. The $2 million project should be finished by late summer. And drivers will save a few cents at the pump. AAA says gas prices have fallen pretty much every day for the past 3 weeks. The national average for a gallon of regular gas is now $2.34 a gallon. AAA says falling oil prices are leading to those lower prices at the pump.
Here's a detailed look at your weekend forecast.
Here's Chief Meteorologist Vitas Reed. Important weekend, Vitas.
Oh, yes, indeed. I've been watching it all week, and it looks like for the most part, we're going to see the rain push through on Saturday. In fact, looking at about 59, our temperature, it's going to be a cool, kind of a wet day, kind of what we saw today. And then we could get about an inch and a quarter of rainfall. So definitely it's going to be a soggy one. Things turn around, though. This storm's going to roll up to the north, and by Sunday, there might be a real early morning sprinkle, just very slight chance, maybe a 10 to 20% chance, but I'm giving it some sun in the afternoon. Still a little breezy, but we'll be at 71 degrees for Mother's Day. It looks like a great one as we go through the weekend. But timing out Mother's Day, I'm going to look at it a little closer here. 9 a.m. for the early risers, mom taking her to breakfast. Looks like it's going to be about 56 degrees, mostly cloudy, maybe a sprinkle in the neighborhood. Further north and east you go in the state. About 1 o'clock, we're seeing more sunshine, 68 degrees. It'll be a little breezy through the afternoon, 71 topping off the day. So it looks like a gorgeous day for all the moms out there. Love y'all. Have a wonderful weekend.
The Ravens' top draft choice is honored by his hometown. And Marlon Humphrey says he's ready for the NFL. That's next in Sports Unlimited.
And coming up in just 10 minutes on the late edition, first on Fox.
So I knocked again, no answer, so I opened up, and she's in the tub with her clothes on, just laying and crying.
A father's world turned upside down. What happened to his daughter? And a stern warning to you about your children. And the FBI swarms into an Annapolis business with ties to the Republican Party today. What they're looking for and which lawmaker could end up feeling the heat. We're live.
Now, this should be the least surprising news you've heard all day. There was no Oriole game tonight, and if you have to ask why, then you just haven't been paying attention. The O's and Nationals were supposed to finish their 4-game series tonight, but it had rained all day, and as the players say, they had no chance. The game has been rescheduled. They'll now play on Thursday, June the 8th at 7:05. All tickets to tonight's game down there will be honored that night. The Birds now leave for Kansas City in a 3-game weekend series. The Ravens came out of last weekend's rookie camp fairly impressed with this year's crop. As for the players themselves, most have gone back home to get ready to begin their professional careers. And for #1 draft pick Marlon Humphrey, that means going back to Hoover, Alabama, outside Birmingham. And this week, his friends, family, and former teammates threw him a party. The 3-time All-State player at Hoover High, Humphrey went on to Alabama, was an All-American in 2016, and feels all that experience has him ready for life in the NFL.
I think it prepared me pretty well. Alabama, a lot of guys are, have NFL potential. So going to rookie minicamp, haven't got with the vets yet, but some of those guys are some of the best in the country, undrafted or drafted. So just to be around that and come from Alabama was definitely helpful. Being with Tim, we kind of talking through it, seeing the differences between Bama and there, seemed pretty similar. So I think we were doing pretty well.
McDonough puts its national record winning streak on the line. Could they make it 176 in a row? The answer at 11:30 as Sports Unlimited continues.
This man is running across the country for the 3rd time. How a hit 90s movie has inspired every detail of the trip.
Hello, I'm Mark Hyman. In theory, I should be a big supporter of the ACLU. Here's what's happening behind the headlines. I'm not, because the ACLU routinely defends civil liberties only for select groups and causes. Here are 2 examples. Conservative commentator Ann Coulter was banned from speaking on the Berkeley campus. For about a week or so, while this controversy became national news, the ACLU was conspicuously silent. No public statements, no calls to action, no legal filings. It wasn't until after it was over, the ACLU cleverly issued a hollow statement claiming to support Coulter's speech rights. Days ago, the ACLU argued in court that a President Trump executive order is unconstitutional. This is the order placing a 90-day moratorium on travelers from 7 states the Obama administration identified as origins of terrorism. An ACLU lawyer made a shocking claim while arguing before the 4th Appeals Court. One judge asked, would the same order be constitutional if a different president had issued it? This is an obvious reference to Hillary Clinton. Yes, said the ACLU lawyer, it would be constitutional. The audio is on our website. For those of you who were hustled by the ACLU, you still have time to place stop payment notices on your donation checks. To comment, go to BehindTheHeadlines.net. I'm Mark Hyman.
A runner is traveling the country on foot for the third time.
His inspiration, the popular 1994 movie Forrest Gump.
Rob Pope started his journey in September. The Liverpool, England native is tracing the route that Gump ran in the film, starting, of course, in Gump's home state of Alabama.
Pope even looks the part with his grown-out facial hair and red cap. One other thing, Pope is 38, the same age as actor Tom Hanks when he played the role. Right now, Pope is making his way through New York. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Gilbert.
And I'm Kai Jackson. It was supposed to be April showers that bring Mayflowers.
Yeah, supposed to be. Instead, we're getting plenty of showers along with chilly temperatures in May. Will it dampen Mother's Day weekend? Let's get a first look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Vetus Reed. Vetus.
Well, the upside of that is that the Mayflowers have bloomed and you can cut a few and put them in a vase and give them to Mom. So here's